Well, they say men are from Mars, women are from Venus, but when it comes to retirement planning, our next guest says that couples need to be on the same planet. Joining us once again is Adam Wolf. He is Jacksonville's retirement coach. He's with us every Tuesday to talk about all things finance. It's good to see you again, talking on Valentine. Happy Valentine's Day to you.
Happy Valentine's Day to you.
Okay, so you say, couples needing to get together is nothing new, but one of the things that you've noticed and you've seen actually in a study that came out that shows that couples have a tendency to get into arguments, and one thing usually is finances that leads that dispute. So why is it good that that they're talking about finances? Because finances can sometimes lead to that argument.
Yeah, that's one of the number one. That's one of the biggest concerns that couples face and arguments that are caused by it. But as we start to near sort of retirement, those conversations need to be had together. I mean, if you're a couple, you're married together, everybody sort of being on the same page from a planning perspective, and then getting that those goals on paper and sitting down with somebody to talk about what the goals are. It's a big deal. But the financial stress that comes getting near retirement, it's amplified if there's no communication or a lack thereof communication and goals.
Right, exactly. Goals being the key word. Yes. So you have kind of some of the consequences of not planning. And at what age? I mean, as soon as possible, you should be talking with your couple about retirement planning, or, I mean, at what point in time should you be having this conversation to ward off any pitfalls in the
future? A lot of folks, they want to start having some conversations, 30s, 40s, getting on the same page. But, when you're starting to, approach your 50s, in your 50s, closing in on 60s, 5 to 7 years away from retirement, those conversations need to be had. So, a perfect example is, that I've seen gone wrong is actually a client came in and her husband had passed away, but he had selected a pension option for a previous employer where she didn't have a full survivorship, meaning she did not inherit the payment of that pension, just a portion of it. So all of the savings that they did together, having that event, adding insult to injury while she's grieving.
I'm sure would have wanted that to go to his wife.
Because of one check and one box that he selected, it turned out to be pretty devastating for her. We were able to sort of fix it a little bit by some other things, but it's one of those things that getting on, when you're having that conversation, when the paperwork comes, doing it together as a couple.
It's a tough conversation to have, because you're thinking about, possibly losing your loved one. But it's also, you say, a good conversation because you want to make sure that you're living the lifestyle that you want and maximizing all that you have saved over the years, right?
Yeah, so, having different sources of income, having the big different goals, whether it's the husband or the spouse, having the different goals in place, the different tax ramifications, when to take Social Security if you're married, that's a big deal because you can lose out on thousands and thousands of dollars over time. And then, having that tax ramifications to keep more money in your bank account, because it's not necessarily what you make, it's really what you keep. So having that conversation
that's right.
with your spouse or your significant other is a key. The sooner the better.
So if a couple comes in and they want to talk to you, kind of walk us through what would happen. What would you want to start tackling with them early on?
And I'm not a marriage counselor by any means.
Right,
but
okay. Skip all that other stuff. We're talking strictly finances.
Strictly finances. So when they're sitting down with us, we will talk to each individual what they want exactly. Because a lot of times, from what I've seen, the women come in and it's the advisor was not listening to me. So we're listening to each individual and then pulling it together, getting the goals met. If one goal wants to say I want this and the other one wants that, bringing it together. And a lot of it comes down to the concerns of, will we run out of money? Okay, is the pension option selected? Is Social Security selected? And will we have to reduce our lifestyle because we didn't save enough or we spent too much during retirement? Those are the key factors that we face.
How do you determine the lifestyle? Like, you just have to add up all your expenses? I mean, do you help them determine, where they're spending their money? And I mean, that's a tough thing to grasp for you, just meeting people for the first time.
Many people will come in and they'll come in with their budget, and a lot, if it's not like in Excel, a lot of folks aren't like that. It's either on a napkin or we'll talk about it and get the actual budgetary numbers of what they're living on now and what they live in retirement, and we sort of start from there. And then sometimes, they're not spending enough money, which is sort of counterintuitive. Sometimes they're spending too much money. So coming up with the plan and having a framework of what it's going to take to not run out of money in retirement and to get everything you want out of it as couples and individuals, it's a big deal.
All right, Adam, good to see you. Thanks for being here on Valentine's Day, talking about what couples need to be talking about.
Happy
you.
Valentine's Day to my wife, my daughter, my
Yes.
mother, my clients, and everybody else.
Oh, bless your heart.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you. And thanks to Wolf Retirement Navigation for coming on and making the segment happen. If it sounds like something that you might like to do, there's a number on your screen that you can write down, 904-232-8760. Adam has set aside 12 appointment slots for a complimentary retirement readiness review for you and your spouse. And he says it fills up pretty quickly. So if you want to get this, make sure you call ASAP, because those 12 slots that you can get this review for free go kind of fast. Thank you for being here. And as always, makes a good Valentine's Day present.
Yes.
Present if you're kind of, procrastinating a little.
Exactly.
All right, good deal. All right, still to come on, and there's all the information if you want to find out. Ask Adam. Oh, by the way, if you have any questions and you would like to ask Adam about that, whatever they may be, you can go to questions@jacksonville's with an S retirementcoach.com. He'll answer pretty much whatever you ask, and we'll probably be featuring some of them coming up, your questions, on a later segment.